great pressure from the European Union. Ireland is accepting a bailout of up to $100 billion, a bailout with strings attached that the Irish are not happy about and don't want. This has my freedom fighters wondering, should the European Union, which compromises the sovereignty of these nations, exist? Should it be bailing out? Should it be making these demands? Back with me now are Emac, Marshall, and Sullum. Emac, to you first. Should the European Union be... Let me step back. Who is being bailed out? Is it the government of Ireland, or is it the banks?
It's more like the banking sector. And let's face it, what's going on here is that the entire European Union has ridden the back of Germany for a very long time. The AAA rating of Germany has been essentially lent to these very fiscally unstable countries. And the danger here, Judge, is this, and that is that Germany, the courts in Germany are already pressuring the government, saying, look, these countries have been fiscally unstable. They have broken the Maastricht Treaty, which launched the European Union in '93. Right. The no bailout clause has been violated. We may push Germany to get out of the EU. If that happens, then you will see a bank run of massive forces in Europe. I'm not saying it will happen.
Your sources are suggesting, your intellect is advancing the idea that the rich countries would leave the EU.
The fiscally prudent ones.
Or better phrase, obviously.
Yeah.
The fiscally prudent countries would leave, not the fiscally imprudent ones that want to receive this cash.
That's right. They would get the loans from France, the Netherlands, and Germany, which has been basically very upset.
Jacob, any lesson for us to learn here? Stated differently, might there be some money from Ben Bernanke's bank in this bailout, and we won't know about it unless Ron Paul or Dennis Kucinich can get the Fed audited?
Well, I think, first of all, we should be careful about feeling superior to the Irish or to Europeans generally, given the state of our budget. Their rules say that they can't have a total debt that exceeds 60% of GDP. Ours currently is about 100% of GDP. And they say their deficits can't be more than 3% of GDP. Ours now is nearly 11%. So we're doing quite poorly by those standards. You know, look, with the EU, you get a tremendous benefit in terms of the freedom of travel, freedom of trade. Right. You may also get some benefit from rationalizing laws across a large territory, if they're good laws. The problem is that if you have bad policies that are writ large, and you undermine the advantages of federalism, then you can get bad policies that are imposed upon a big territory that people can't escape.
Leslie?
Things like the EU-wide ban on smokeless tobacco, or the EU-wide dictates on the sizes of tomatoes and shapes of tomatoes and that sort of thing. Got it. So I would say there's a trade-off there.
Well, I thought our government was bad. The EU was actually dictating the size of tomatoes. That would seem to affect the law of physics. I would hope that governments would recognize that the laws of physics are outside their competence. Leslie Marshall, Dennis Kucinich, who ran for the Democratic nomination for president, announced earlier today he's going to investigate the Federal Reserve in large measure to see if they have anything to do with this EU bailout of Ireland. How far will he get? Because Pelosi and company still control the House.
Well, I have to tell you, Judge, left or right, that's not what the American people elected anybody to go to Washington or to stay in Washington to do. So I would say that's not a fiscal, responsible decision to the best interests of the United States of America. We also have to look, when we look at Ireland, Judge, that we have non-EU countries such as the UK putting their money in, because I agree with panelists here, this is about bailing out banks, which is exactly what America did. So if we say anything, we're the pot calling the kettle black.
Well, the U.S. banks have exposure to Europe as well, but the issue is fiscal austerity. I would say that the Queen, who's for fiscal austerity, is acting more like a Tea Partier than some members of Congress.
Queen is for fiscal austerity. What is she about to spend on her son's money?
I'll tell you, Angela Merkel is acting. Well, Angela Merkel is acting more like a Tea Partier as well, because she's for fiscal austerity, and then versus some of these congressmen. Do you think that
these European countries resent, reject, wish they hadn't traded in their sovereignty?
I think they absolutely resent it, seeing what's happening right now, and they probably, regret it, because basically they're asking to pony up hundreds of billions of euros for a stabilization fund, which they never may see return on when they have gone through their own fiscal austerity and their wage restraints. Paying for hairdressers to retire in Greece at age 50, when you have to retire, say, in Germany at age 62, 65, that would be a problem if I lived in Germany.
Got it. Jacob, Sullum, Leslie Marshall, Emac, thank you for joining us. Happy Thanksgiving.
To you too.
We'll see what happens in